Well, hey everyone, and thank you for stopping by Thriving and Beyond today. My name's Leslie. I wanted to share a story time with you today, one that goes back quite a few years, but that really demonstrates the abuse and bizarre behavior of a narcissist, someone who is incapable of communicating, incapable of having a rational discussion, incapable of meeting an issue head on, respectfully, with reciprocity and upholding that both people should come away from the discussion, from the issue, feeling that that issue has been resolved and that both people can move on. So this goes back to April 2015. So more than 5 years ago now. And I am just so thankful that these years have passed and that I can actually giggle a little bit at the absurdity of the treatment that I received, even though at the time it was truly devastating. And please do not take my laughter as minimizing the effect that this event had at the time, or minimizing the effects and the devastation and the level, the depth of the emotion that any of you may be feeling. However, do take my laughter as a sign that yes, it gets better. Yes, we can look back and see the absurdity of the situations that we were involved in. So anyway, picture the scene: a restaurant, an Applebee's, and it was a lunchtime. And the narcissist and I had met for lunch. And leading up to this, I knew that I was going to be addressing the issue. Perhaps it wasn't a great idea to do this at a restaurant, but it was safer to me to have a public forum, to have lots of people around to address the issue. My heart was already beating, even though I was telling myself the entire time, you can't do this, stay calm, you have a right to know, you have a right to ask these questions. So the issue at hand was the drug addicts living in the home of the narcissist. I was told way early on that these people were only visiting from out of state. Well, that was a complete lie. They actually lived in the home. I just didn't know it, and it became evident over time that these people weren't leaving. They would come and go, buy groceries, stay there for extended lengths of time, and weeks went by, so it really did become clear that these people lived in the house. I didn't address the lie with the narcissist. I knew somehow that that would not end up well, so I didn't even address that lie. What I addressed, however, was the fact that the narcissist promised that in order for us to move forward, because we were already engaged by this time, I was planning on moving into the house. The narcissist promised that an eviction order would be served on a particular Monday, that the narcissist would go to the courthouse, do all of the necessary filing, file the paperwork, et cetera, to get this done. Wednesday, I remember it was a Wednesday, was the day that we had our lunch. I also knew that the narcissist did not go to the courthouse. I already knew it. So sitting down, drinking our iced tea or whatever it was, ordering our food, by then we had a table full of food and people all around, and I just really had to dig deep. I used a very calm voice. I was non-threatening. I was non-accusatory, and just asked several questions. How did it go at the courthouse? Knowing that the narcissist didn't go to the courthouse to file the paperwork, and that it didn't seem that things were moving along quite the way they had been depicted to me, that I was told and it was outlined that this was a done deal, but that I was a little confused because nothing ever was told to me to lead me to believe that it had been done. So I was asking these general questions just very calmly and not making a big deal out of it as much as possible. And the entire time, the narcissist sat there at the table, nodding their head. And I thought, oh my God, this is going better than I could expect. There's no back talk. There's no really coming back at me for asking the questions. And I thought, okay, keep going. This conversation might have a resolution. We might get to the bottom of this issue with the drug addicts living in the home. Of course, I would not move into a home that had such dangerous behavior going on within it. I just could not do that. So the narcissist is nodding the head, and I'm thinking, okay, this is better than I thought. So I got done asking my questions, and I don't even remember what the narcissist said. And I think this is important because it's likely that I blocked it out or have somehow, I don't know, shoved it down or compartmentalized it in such a way that I don't remember the words. But what I do remember is that after about 1 minute, the narcissist got up, walked out of that restaurant, into the parking lot, into the car, and drove away. So I watched as the narcissist got up from the table thinking, well, are they just going to the bathroom? What's going on here? But watched as they walked out of the restaurant and left the parking lot. And it dumbfounded me. I was awestruck in the worst way. My body went cold. I couldn't get my thoughts together, and I just sat there and sat there and sat there. Eventually, I'm sure I paid the check, and I don't even remember. Again, those details are not clear. The conversation is clear. The environment is clear, but bits and pieces of the event, myself leaving the restaurant, that's not clear. But anyway, so I go home, a few days pass, 4 days to be exact. There's no communication back and forth. And out of the blue, I get a text message of a picture of a home in a different state, a picture that was sent to me by mistake. Of course, it wasn't meant for me, but that's what the narcissist does. And that's what we need to understand, is that they are so deceitful. They would never come up and say, you know what, we really need to talk about this, or something that would be positive communication. But instead, they take this backhanded way of getting back in touch, sending a picture. There may have been a text about taking the motorcycle out as well. And then the next text was, oh, that wasn't meant for you. I'm sorry. So, of course, that door was open, and I walked right through that door. I had an engagement ring on my finger. I had an engagement party coming up in just a few days. And logically, I knew that this person was unstable, insecure, unable to resolve situations with me, and that the further relationship would be a disaster. But at the same time, part of me wanted this relationship, wanted it to work, wanted to make it better, wanted to see what could be done. So the line of communication was open back up, and the texting back and forth. Eventually we got together, we had another conversation, and you know what I was told, and you know what I believe? The fact that what was promised with the eviction notice was never addressed. What was addressed was, Leslie, don't you trust me to take care of what I told you I would? Don't you trust that even if things don't happen exactly the way you think they should, that they will somehow get resolved anyway? So instead of coming clean and saying, yeah, I told you something that didn't happen, I really screwed up, I really should have taken care of this, etc., it was put back on me saying, don't you trust me to take care of the situation? It might not happen the way you think it should, but don't you trust me that I will take care of it? Well, looking back now, no, I don't trust you to take care of it. And you lied to me. You set up a scenario of going to the courthouse that at that time you were telling me just what you thought I wanted to hear. Meanwhile, I'm taking those words to heart. Meanwhile, you know you have no intention or had no intention of going and filing the paperwork for an eviction, which would be public record, of course. So that is really the story time. The narcissist took the situation, twisted it around on me, accusing me of not trusting them to take care of the situation, when in all reality, something was promised for the benefit of the relationship, going to the courthouse days before to take care of the eviction so that our relationship could move forward without having these people in the house. It's interesting to look back. Again, please do not take my laughter at minimizing what was going on at that moment. Sitting at that table, having the narcissist left the restaurant, the parking lot, I can't even describe it. It was almost like an out-of-body experience. I knew I was sitting at that table. I knew we were having lunch, but the resulting behavior was unlike anything I had ever been through before. So people, survivors, please understand this is the behavior we can expect. The relationship did end. That's a whole another story time for another day. I appreciate you being here. Please stay the course. Have faith in this journey, no matter where you are in this journey. Please understand these issues are not yours to absorb. They're not. They're not yours to fix. Your responsibility is to do what I feel I did try to do with calm communication, bringing up the issues that needed a resolution in a safe way, in a safe place, but yet we know that doesn't work for the narcissist. Take care. Until next time, I'll see you all soon.